I'll never forget the instant my 2,000-pound Angus bull Titan destroyed Linda's immaculate tulip garden, churning it into a muddy war zone, while she screamed from atop a bird bath, grasping a salad bowl like a warrior's shield. But the real story started 10 hours before that, when someone with no business touching my land cut a wire. A wire that did more than shock a fence but kept at bay, a force of nature from our manicured suburban HOA lawns. My ranch is just outside the newly grown HOA zone, a little spot of freedom where I've raised cattle chickens and one fiercely defensive bull for decades. Titan had his pasture, I had my electric fence, and the world left us be that changed when the HOA, spearheaded by their new president Linda, stretched their rules like a noose around our hood-claiming land. They had no business touching and trying to impose their pastel-painted policy, crazed vision on folks who didn't give a fig about mailbox fonts or grass length. I wasn't under their purview, but that didn't dissuade Linda, a whirlwind of micromanagement and yoga pants, from making my ranch her personal thug. She complained about everything: my barn color, my haystack height, even the odor of my compost. Her latest bugbear was my electric fence, which she deemed aggressive and a menace to the community's aesthetic. I informed her if she could keep Titan contained without it, I'd hand her the wire cutters myself. She retaliated with veiled threats of zoning infractions using a map older than my tractor. I thought it was all show. Linda was loud, pesky, but harmless. I was mistaken that afternoon. While I was making the rounds delivering feed 2 towns away, my phone rang with a haunting alert. The fence was down initially. I figured it was a power glitch, but the backup kicked in and the gate logs told the tale. The bull gate had auto-released the fence's current, had been captured, and Titan conditioned to detect freedom. When the hum ceased was at large, I floored my truck imagining my bull rampaging through suburbia. What I didn't realize was that the mayhem was already going viral by the time I arrived at the neighborhood. Residents had posted videos of Titan strutting like a rodeo king across immaculate sidewalks, scattering poodles and upending hedges. Linda's own backyard camera caught her standing up to him with a pool noodle and a fanny pack yelling about livestock regulations, before locking herself inside a garden shed as Titan scraped the turf. My other cameras exposed the perpetrator, Linda, wire cutters in hand, instructing a landscaper to clip the unsightly wire. The moment it was clipped, the system recorded the fall, and the gate swung open, spotless, perfect documented. I arrived to find HOA board members attempting to herd Titan with patio furniture and hope like amateur bullfighters in a suburban ring. One guy threw a yoga mat, another a kale chip. Titan blinked unimpressed and flattened a wrought iron bench. Linda emerged from her shed covered in potting soil, yelling about trespassing bulls and public danger. I ignored her, grabbed my Bluetooth override, and activated Titan's collar chime. His ears pricked, and like a well-trained wrecking ball, he ambled back to me, tail flicking, as if he hadn't just reduced the HOA's landscaping to confetti. I rewarded him with a beef pellet, led him home, and confronted a shocked crowd. Linda attempted to spin herself as the hero, but someone shouted, "You let him out, Linda." Phones flashed, recording her face. As it changed from anger to panic, the landscaper, tossing her under the bus, yelled, "She told me to cut it. I didn't have to say a word. The truth was out." That evening, I repaired the fence, reset the system, and watched the footage. Linda hadn't cut a wire. She'd interfered with a state-approved livestock safety system, putting lives at risk. Titan could have injured someone, but luck and training prevailed. The HOA had witnessed what happens when city regulations collide with rural reality, and this was only the start. The next morning, the neighborhood lay quiet like it had weathered a stampede. Local news replayed drone shots of Titan thundering down a lane, and Linda huddled behind a recycling bin, grasping a broken clipboard. A viral clip branded him the HOA Avenger over ominous music. I wasn't certain if I should laugh or expect trouble. Titan, unaware, napped in the shade of the barn at noon. Linda circulated flyers declaring my ranch a public menace while donning a sun hat in shades like a fugitive. She hadn't realized Titan was a legend. Reporters phoned, neighbors whispered, and the HOA frantically sought to spin the chaos. Linda doubled down, enlisting her diehards, most new residents with no knowledge of her regime. marched onto my land with a self-published emergency decree I observed through binoculars, popcorn clutched in hand as she reached my fence, demanding that I remove the wiring construct, a neighbor-approved wooden fence, and present architectural drawings for my ranch. I indicated toward my new steel sign private. Ranch not HOA trespassers meet Titan that ought to have halted her. But Linda trespassed literally onto my land to create a rant declaring I had armed my livestock. She didn't provoke, didn't notice Titan watching in the field tail, twitching when she referred to him as an oversized lawnmower with horns. He'd had enough. He walked towards her, slow and steady Linda. Halfway through, Spetch heard the hooves spun around, froze terrified. She tried to climb my ornamented wagon wheel. It wobbled and she fell into a wheelbarrow full of compost legs waving her loyalists. Videotaped one giggled Titan, snorted and strolled away. Drama queen supreme Linda, smeared in muck, complained about safety inspections. I cried out, "Try an appointment next time." The HOA meeting was a three-ring circus. Linda dressed up like a martyr, accused me of domestic terrorism, and played a doctored video of Titan. Someone called out, "Play the real one." Residents airdropped the authentic footage, Linda attempting to cut the fence. Titan startled by a gnome, her hiding behind a bin. Guffaws burst out the landscaper. My cousin stood up. She paid me to cut it. She said it was decorative. The board suspended Linda pending investigation. She stormed out yelling about lawsuits the following day. Linda filed a county complaint alleging my ranch contravened zoning. I appeared with deeds permits and video. The official chuckled at her doctored monster bull photos, rejecting the case, but threatening she could sue. I sent my cousin's recording, Linda saying, "Cut it, he'll never know." To my attorney prepared for a counterattack, an insurance adjuster came by impressed by Titan's courtesy and decided I was entitled to damages. Linda's emotional trauma claim was dismissed. Her last ploy was an expert at another HOA meeting. Brent, a bogus consultant who prattled on about shaky fences. I presented footage of Brent misidentifying a goat as a bull. The room erupted. Brent ran from the board, ejected Linda, permanently repair her for lawn work, and suggested a policy honoring rural operations. Days later, Titan strolled through an open HOA gate, rolling in Linda's sprinklers, flattening a flamingo. She charged with a rake, slipped into her koi pond, and emerged dripping algae. I leashed Titan and departed without a word. That night I threw a bull safety barbecue, attracting crowds with Titan t-shirts and a cake in the shape of a broken HOA flyer. Linda watched from a distance, defeated. The sheriff validated her complaint was null and threatened charges for fence damage. Linda sent apology cards and a gift card for Titan, conceding she'd lost control. Weeks later, she left the area, gazing at Titan one last time as her truck disappeared. The neighborhood flourished, porch parties, shared tools, and a spring fair where Titan posed for selfies. The HOA's new policy safeguarded rural land, and a plaque commemorated Titan for defending community sanity. I added a sign, "Welcome to the ranch home of Titan." Don't touch the fence. Last person did. Move Titan still stands by that fence, ready for the next fight, as peace settles over the ranch, like a sunset behind his horns.